We're going to talk about the shooting with Malcolm Gus. The driver of that shooting, I don't want that driver as my partner. I'll take that passenger in a heartbeat. You know, he jumped out. He let off 6 despite getting aired out by a fully automatic fire. You know, but we haven't even got to that part. But I don't want to say Elisa Garza because she's a woman. I don't want her as my partner. I didn't like the way she reacted in that liquor store. That's all.
The only way I will agree with you is if we find out who buzzed first.
I'm gonna start looking at. You know, I found another video of it has more. It's longer. It's more detailed, and I thought about going through it like frame by frame.
Yeah, because she wasn't expecting this fool to just start busting willy nilly. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you never know who's gonna bust. Just like
our partner. Like, damn, you trigger happy?
Well,
I wasn't expecting that, bro.
So let's get into to Malcolm Gus. This is a 2024 shooting that many of you guys may have saw. It's got a couple million views on YouTube, so it was a very high-profile shooting. But what we don't really know is the outcome. What happened with the suspect? What happened with the case? So they eventually arrested, like maybe a week later, this guy named Malcolm Gus. And let's play a clip of the shooting to remind people, because this shooting to me is probably one of the most active shootings against the LAPD since the North Hollywood shootout of 1997. I think that North Hollywood was 97. We've had a lot of officer involved shootings where somebody pops, like Malik. Malik got off what? I don't know, 10. He emptied his magazine.
More.
Yeah, he had. Yeah,
it was more than 10 before he left the store.
Yeah, but and a lot of the stuff that Malik was shooting was just in the air. It wasn't like really aimed. It wasn't.
It was to back him off of him.
Yeah. So let's say he had a 15. Let's say he had 15 and he emptied his whole magazine. We've seen a few. I remember, and there's another one that happened during COVID where some dude walked straight up to the parked cruiser in Compton. It was and shot one of the deputies in that one.
And got to running through that shopping center.
Yeah, and
he was on every camera, every story ran past.
To get an update this morning about an ambush on 2 sheriff's deputies in Compton that happened earlier this month. Sheriff Alex Villanueva is expected to hold a press conference this morning at 10 o'clock. The shooting happened on September 12th at the Metro Blue Line station. Both deputies were shot and still recovering. So far, the suspect has not been identified. There is a reward of nearly $700,000 that's being offered for information that leads to an arrest and conviction of the gunman.
So we've seen a lot of shootings against the cops over the years, but this shooting right here, I tried to count how many rounds this guy shot. It's too rapid. It's too rapid to count. So let me play a clip of this shooting, and then we'll talk about it.
You want to call it a reckless or DUI if they take off?
DUI, he's been swerving.
I got PA. We got real quick.
Oh, stop. Go.
Get the car!
Okay, so you can see it when he was in the driver's seat there. As soon as those automatic bullets started flying through, he kind of leaned back, his arms went up, and I think he was just trying to avoid getting hit.
Right.
He ducked, he kind of like sunk into the car seat. That's what it was. He sunk his body down into the seat. So, because the engine is a great protector of bullets. Ain't no bullets getting through, the front end of a car and coming into the passenger or driver's side. So when he did that, his foot must have came off the brake a little bit, and the car cruised up and actually bumped the back of Malik Salah. Malik Salah. That wasn't Malik Salah. That's Gus. Malcolm Gus's car. And then we got a third and final angle of the body cam of the passenger officer.
Adam 44 on Broadway, north of Rosecrans. Hey, this guy's not stopping. Keep an eye out, make sure he's not.
He's in 44,
Crossing any of the other
Broadway,
vehicles.
north of Rosecrans. 18445, tow cancel.
Do you want to call it a reckless or a DUI if they take off?
445, right?
He's been swerving.
Yep. And I got a PA. Move your hand real quick.
Oh, stop. They stop.
Go, go, go! Shots fired, shots fired. Officer needs help. Officer needs help. Get the car, get the car! What was that? You good? No! Just go, 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 go! We're gonna be northbound.
Your location.
Northbound Broadway.
And that is the third angle from the passenger of that shootout. Now I got both both these cops. They're pretty new on the force. They were hired in 2022, so this is obviously probably their first situation that they had to deal with in their career.
Well, the question always arises: what'll make you get off like that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was looking at the Malik Salah comments that we posted, and a few people said perks or he was on something. Like he was definitely under the influence. Like that's not normal sober behavior, but I don't know.
Yeah, because like you don't turn a simple gun case into attempted murder on peace officers. You know what I'm saying? So that's all like damn. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Now the officer that was the passenger, that's Joshua Rodney, and the officer that was the driver in that shooting was Stefan Karadisu. Unusual last name.
Want to know something? Hold on. Broadway, Rosecrans, is that the sheriff's?
These were LAPD officers, so it might be the border. It might kind of be close.
Right.
Yeah, and both these officers were hired in 2022. They're both white. And just to give it some context, the driver, he was 6 feet, 190 pounds. So he's definitely a big boy. He can handle his. And the passenger who jumped out and returned fire, he's 6 feet, 160 pounds, a little bit skinnier. But I would definitely take Joshua Rodney. I definitely want Joshua Rodney as my partner if I'm a cop. I like the no hesitation, immediate response, jumped out, returned fire. And that's a lot of pressure to be under when you heard that automatic fire. I don't know how many bullets that was. It had to be 20 or 30. I tried to count them. I might, the best way to do it, I probably played in slow motion and just listen for each pop.
Hey man, you know what? All right, let's say if I'm a police officer, I probably just can't really count my partner out when stuff like this happen, right? Because you human though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but everybody has a different temperament.
Right.
And like Alicia Garza from the Malik Salah shooting, she got a little scared. She definitely was. And you know what? Being scared is probably normal, but you can't let the fear mess up your reaction.
Yeah, your fear is supposed to turn into adrenaline.
Correct.
Right.
Her fear could have caused her partner's death. But, fortunately, I was going to say these things don't happen all the time. You might have to deal with this one time as a cop in your whole career. Some cops don't even have to pull their guns out too often.
We need to figure that out. How often do shots be fired? I'm talking about from suspect to peace officer, not the other way around, because it's often with the officers.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often. It doesn't happen that often. So that's the good thing about it. Okay, so remember Malik Salah, he got a $3.2 million bail in 2025, just a couple months ago. Malcolm Gus, his bail was just $2 million. He had in 2024. So I thought that was unusual. And Gus had 7 prior convictions for minor stuff, burglary, receiving stolen property. I shouldn't say minor. I shouldn't say just not violent felonies,
Right.
non-violent felonies.
Right.
So he has 7 convictions, and his bail was $2 million for airing out these 2 cops like that with fully automatic fire. Explain that one, man.
I guess maybe Malik background is more like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing I found interesting, both these guys are in their early 30s, right? Malcolm Gus was 31 years old when this shooting happened. He's 32 now. That whole shooting went through the court system pretty quick. It happened in July of 2024, and dude is in reception right now. He was already found. He went to trial, was found guilty, and he was found guilty of multiple counts. He was acquitted of one of the counts he had, but he was found guilty of 2 counts of assault on a peace officer with a machine gun. That's an interesting charge, with a machine gun.
So the machine gun's probably an enhancement.
And
It's
then
not a regular gun enhancement, but being that it's a machine gun, it's probably a more of an enhancement.
correct. And then he was found guilty of felon with a firearm. Then he was found guilty of 1 count each of shooting at an occupied vehicle, which is something Malik is not going to get. When he shot at the LAPD cruiser, it was unoccupied.
Yeah, they were trying to use it for a shield.
He was also found guilty of possession of a machine gun. They did eventually recover that gun a week later. I don't know the details of how that happened. And the jurors also found true the enhancement that he discharged the firearm, which is obvious. And he was sentenced to 162 years. Well, he's eligible for parole in 2052, which would be 28 years from 2024. 28 years.
He'd be almost 70.
Let's see if he's 30. He's 32 now. This happened when he was 31. Add another 28. No, he'd be 60. 30 years from now.
But when he go there,
They're gonna deny him the
they're gonna
first
deny
time.
him.
Yeah,
He gonna come back, and so he gonna be close to like mid-60s. And
yeah. Let me read this article real quick. This is
because what was their reason for even trying to pull him over though?
they said he was swerving. Did you hear him? Like, is this gonna be a DUI or are we gonna call it a reckless driving? They didn't even know what it was. They didn't even know what it was, and I really wonder why did Malcolm Gus go that route? You know, what was going through his head?
He didn't feel like being bothered.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's crazy because he got caught a week later, so he had a little time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was able to get away. He left that intersection pretty quickly, and the reason why I think he got away is because of the hesitation from the driver, the LAPD driver.
But how long was they gonna be able to stay on him when they hood is smoking? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if the car was that, if the car would have became inoperable, but they could have easily just followed him, called it in, and got backup to join in the pursuit if it was going to be a pursuit. Once the LAPD car kind of bumped him, because dude's foot obviously came off the brake, I think that may have startled him because he was like, "Oh shit, they on my bumper!" Like literally on my bumper, not figuratively. They were literally on his bumper, and then he just decided to peel out. And I don't think those 6 return shots that had him second thinking, like, what should I do now? Let me just get up out of here. I already did my big one.
Large one, man. Hey, I'm surprised he was at large for a week.
All right, here's the article. He did get life. Ex-convict who was found guilty of assault and other charges for opening fire on a police patrol car in South LA, causing minor injuries to the 2 officers, was sentenced to 162 years to life in state prison. So he did get the L on there. Malcolm Darnell Gus, now 32, was convicted last month of 2 counts each of assault on a peace officer with a machine gun and being a felon with a firearm, along with 1 count each of shooting at an occupied vehicle and possessing a machine gun. Jurors also found that he was guilty of personally discharging a firearm. He was found not guilty. He was acquitted of 1 count of attempted murder involving a group of persons inside a Los Angeles Police Department patrol vehicle, which I don't even understand how this is worded. He was acquitted of attempted murder involving a group of persons inside a LAPD car. I don't get that, but
So he got found not guilty of attempted murder, but got found guilty of what?
assault. Yeah, this is what he was found not guilty of attempted murder, but he was found guilty of assault on a peace officer with a machine gun.
Okay.
Maybe the assault with I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a thin line.
It's still you still getting washed up,
Right.
regardless of it. Okay, so he got acquitted of that. The two uniformed patrol officers were shot on July 3rd, 2024, after attempting to stop a vehicle, a white four-door Chevy sedan. The driver initially accelerated away from the officers, but stopped suddenly on Broadway, north of Rosecrans. Before officers could exit the police vehicle, the suspect, armed with a fully automatic weapon, fired at officers without warning. One of the officers, identified as Joshua Rodney, returned fire. He managed to return fire. The other officer, identified as Stefan Karutasu, was injured. After the shots were fired, the suspect drove off again. Officers attempted to follow for approximately 200 yards, but lost sight of the vehicle in the area of 135 and Broadway. Both officers suffered cuts and scratches from the glass fragments caused by the suspect's rounds. One officer suffered 2 graze wounds, and both were taken to the hospital for treatment. Gus was arrested just over a week and has remained behind bars since then.
Oh, he lasted over a week on the street.
Yeah. Gus has 7 prior convictions dating back to 2011 for burglary, attempted burglary, and receiving stolen property. So this is people were commenting under the video, if he has 7 convictions, why was he on the street? And my response to them is, you don't do life for receiving stolen property. You expect for him to stay in prison for how many years for RSP?
The word conviction just sound, you know what I'm saying? So they don't really understand.
No, they don't understand. But I don't even think they care to understand. They feel like if you've been to jail for 7 felonies, why are you still free? And that's why the whole 3 strikes thing came out. You got 3 felony convictions. You did your time for those 3 felony convictions, but then you repeat again and you repeat again and you repeat again. Well, that's just the nature of our sentencing. You don't go to jail for 15 years for receiving stolen property. It's a felony, yes, but you're only going to do a year or 2 for that.
After a certain it go over a certain amount, it's a felony.
Yeah.
Right? Like over like a certain dollar amount, then it become a felony.
So I wanted to give the people an update on that shooting. I'm going to try to get an update on the Compton shooting. I think that dude is still in court, but I was surprised how quick this settled out.
Well, that Compton shooting, that could easily be an ID case because everybody that was watching via the internet was trying to figure out, was he black or Hispanic?
Yeah. I remember that. People were like, no, that's not the way a black person runs.
Right. So that could turn into an ID case.
Yeah, because the footage was kind of great. But this one could have been an ID case. You can't see Malcolm Salah at all.
But who's the you put his last name with his first name.
I'm sorry, gosh.
Yeah, Malcolm Gus.
Malcolm Gus. You can't see Malcolm Gus at all.
But who was that car registered to though? You got the dash cam with the license plate.
Yeah, I'm sure they figured out how to find him. But in that footage, he is not identified. You can't see him. You don't even know if how many people are in the car. Obviously, he was the only
female or a male. That'd be best if it was a female though. But
and then the cop said, "Oh, they stopped." When he said "they," you're thinking it's more than one person in the car. There was only one. Well, according to all these reports, he was the only one in the car.
You would never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well not tell who you was with. You getting washed up anyway. And you the shooter?
Hey, the passenger's innocent though. Unless what if the passenger was the shooter? We don't know. But
possibly because he probably trying to kick the door open and run, and the passenger got the busing. Now that you say that,
why did he say they stopped? I don't know, but
man, look, this go back to the old telling on the dead thing. Let's say I was the passenger and I started shooting, and the driver ended up going down for it. When I die, when you come on appeal, man, tell them that who did it and the truth, and give evidence that why run that same car for fingerprints. His prints is in there. I promise it was him. Tell on me if I pass away for sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree with he telling on the dead. He can't come back and do that time. You know what I'm saying?